Well, I guess we can just get started with the first installment of Anything Goes. Even if you're not ready, it doesn't matter because anything goes.
Listen, I'm always ready for anything. That is why we are Time for Anything.
Yeah.
With the first installment of the miniseries, Anything Goes.
Yeah.
What are we talking about tonight?
That is a fantastic question.
Because I guess anything goes.
Anything. I never know what we're talking about, even when we plan out the topic.
That's not a very good thing, man.
It's a joke. I usually have more information than both of you combined. It's also a joke.
You're kind of not wrong, though, I mean, sometimes.
But I don't have as much to say. I might have more information, but I hardly ever have as much to say because I figure I'll just let you guys go with what you're saying.
Well, you're very good at acquiring information and helping us figure out what we want to talk about next and then consolidating that information and then figuring out how we want to go about it.
Well, listen, most of the times that we record, there are multiple times that I want to interject by saying, hey, maybe you're wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't, normally, because I think normally what either of you say is reasonable enough to not play devil's advocate. But it's a difficult thing, you know. There's always this voice in the back of my mind saying, I know you agree with them, but just be a dick. Sometimes it's hard to not be a dick.
Well, that's interesting.
Sure. Sure.
Well, what time is it?
It appears to be 10:10.
It is 10 o'clock already.
10:10.
It's 10
It's 10 past 10. Is that how that works?
No, I think it's 11:11.
It is 11:11.
You could do it at any point.
Just make a wish whenever you want to make a wish.
Hey, universe.
When you wish upon a star. I forget the rest of the lyrics, but I don't want to get sued by Disney, so I won't continue anyway.
Speaking of Disney, I don't know how I feel about Back to the Future 2, man. I don't know how I feel about it.
Well, we're only halfway through.
We're only halfway through.
And I think the third one's probably better.
You keep saying that, and I really hope you're right, because I'm not very impressed with the second one.
I don't think it's the best movie, but I think it's better than the second.
The thing is that when you watch the sequel to a movie, the second one could be superior in every way. Superior, quote unquote, as in, let's say it was directed better, the budget was higher, the screenplay was a lot better, the acting was better.
The actors already know their role.
Right.
They're already involved in their character.
It could be better in every way, but for some reason, it just normally not. But for some reason, it's just the fact that you've seen the universe already that it's not so magical.
Less original.
Right, it feels very familiar and like you've done this before.
I think part of it comes from back-to-back viewings. Right, if you watch Back to the Future 1 and then 4 years later watch the second one, it'll feel fresher than if you watched it yesterday.
And now we're watching the second one
again,
today.
Right?
Yeah, that's very true.
But I think it almost goes beyond just familiarity. That's a weird word.
Familiarity.
Familiarity.
You have trouble with words sometimes.
I do. A lot of times.
It's okay. I forgive you.
Yeah. Speech impediment as a kid.
I don't.
Never
really?
had. Yeah. Oh. Never had speech therapy. Had to get over it on my own.
Wait, hold up, because that explains things, but I'm also incredibly impressed because for you having had a speech impediment as a kid with no speech therapy, you turned out pretty good.
The word girl was very difficult.
What did you say?
Girl. You know, it was world. World took me a very long time to get over. Yeah, I just would avoid the word.
Planet.
Planet? What?
Really? Oh, the whole planet.
Yeah.
Planet what?
So, what I was saying was, I don't think that the sequel, feeling less good, quote unquote, worse than the original, is always the audience's fault. I don't think it's just because it feels unoriginal or like a familiar universe.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, a lot of the time the sequel just blows.
Yeah, the sequel just blows. The directors get lazy. Maybe the writers even get lazy.
Well,
they say, "Wow, we've already made a lot of money off of this. People are going to watch this whether it's good or not." Just like Star Wars.
I was waiting for you. Yep, I was gonna say it.
Yeah.
The new trilogy is butthole, and okay. I know that these two movies get a lot of bad rap, but I can't tell you why, but Rogue One and Solo were my favorite Star Wars movies. The actor for Solo did not do a good job at playing Han at all. However, there's just something, I think it's maybe just the darkness, the quote-unquote grittiness.
I think
the
Rogue
whole scene
One
when he's
had
fighting
that.
Chewbacca was just so dark and muddy. And
Rogue One had a lot of the darkness. When I watched Rogue One, I correlated a lot with modern day terrorism.
Oh.
But through the eyes of the terrorists, right? The rebels are the terrorists.
That makes sense.
Protecting their homeland against this empire. It makes these quote unquote terrorists the good guys. Yeah. Which was an interesting perspective, especially given the modern day climate. But Solo felt too Disney. Felt too family friendly.
I do agree.
That's not to say I didn't enjoy the movie for what it was, but
yeah, I liked it for what it was, but I wouldn't go out of the way to call it a quality film.
Right.
Yeah.
But I still agree that I think that both films were better than most of the Star Wars movies, the episode movies, right?
Yeah, and I still think that while the original trilogy didn't age very well, I still think it's the best trilogy.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's no way it's not.
There's no way it's better, or there's no way it's worse than the prequel, quote-unquote prequel.
Yeah.
Episode 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
Or Disney's 7, 8, and 9.
Disney's hot garbage that they served up to us and said,
Steaming
remember
pile of
this?
shit.
Remember this?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, remember that guy? He's in the movie now. And you're like,
it's almost like South Park's grapes.
Grapes of Wrath?
No, it's not Grapes of Wrath. It's
Yeah.
That's
from VeggieTales. They literally put grapes. And they said we're the grapes of... Okay, all right.
But they're the ones that were like, remember Chewbacca, remember this and that. Maybe they were just from... Okay, Google.
I don't know what you're referring to.
The Remember grapes from South Park.
Sure. Oh!
Yeah.
I remember what you're talking
about. What did they call them?
No.
What?
Well...
No, forget that.
All right, whatever.
Done. It's forgotten.
Thank you. Show me the grapes from South Park that would remember things.
Okay, I'll remember that.
No, forget that.
Sure. Let me get some more information so I can help you with that.
Dang, man.
I said no, forget that.
We live in 2020, and you think that everything is at your fingertips until Google doesn't understand anything you're saying. 2020 first world problems. My Google doesn't understand what I'm saying. And
I could type it in and find it a lot easier than trying to talk it into Google.
Well, sometimes.
And we were even just talking about this sort of problem with modern day tech.
Yeah.
That we want everything more instantly as soon as we experience this better technology.
It's really hard to go back.
It's impossible to go back.
You almost can't go back.
Without, noticing all the flaws of it.
Yeah, I think... Oh, man. Okay, so I drive a 2007 Ford Focus. For anyone out there who knows what that car is, it is the worst car I've ever driven. Now, let me also say, it's one of the best cars I've ever driven, and I don't know why, but when I was contemplating getting a new car, I was like, oh man, I'm really gonna miss this thing. And I've made this joke to you a million times, but this is what driving this thing feels like, is someone in a bicycle could T-bone me on the driver's side and I'd die, and they'd be fine. It feels like you're just driving a tin can with a motor in it. It has no features, no heated seats, no screen, no sunroof, nothing. It is the most basic, bare bones car. And I've been thinking for years, I'm gonna upgrade my computer, it's been 5 years and whatever, but I still haven't done it. And I feel like people should be more open to quote unquote living in the past more. Like just upgrade later because that's the thing is like I could buy a Tesla if I wanted, and with the money I was making in IT before COVID happened, I could have afforded one if I wanted, but I'm thinking I don't need to take on that extra payment and then there's no way I'm not going to have a self-driving car before I'm dead.
Yeah,
because
that's factual.
That's factual. Because either it's number one, they're going to be mandatory at some point, or number two, I can just wait 20 years until a Tesla that's out now is a lot cheaper, and then buy one for like $5,000 or something.
Yeah.
So it's like just wait for stuff.
I will say
you don't need the newest thing all the time.
The best, maybe not best. My favorite car that I have driven and have owned was a 2001 Volkswagen Jetta.
Yeah.
Thing was amazing. Had no computer in it.
No. Well, I mean, it probably did for a lot of your times.
Right.
But I got your point.
It had automatic windows, so it had a computer in it.
Yeah, but it didn't have like a screen.
There was no screen. There wasn't even a CD player. I had to use a cassette. Yeah.
One of those cassette to aux adapters.
Yep.
Those things are legit.
2001, and it's better. It was better than the car that I drive now, which is a 2015. I enjoyed that car more. I think a lot of people would agree that older cars are better.
There's just something about it, and I think maybe it's because there's... it might be because modern day cars are a lot quieter, and you don't hear the engine, you don't feel the engine as much.
Unless they pump engine noises through the speakers, which
some BMWs do.
BMW does. Yeah. A lot of companies do it.
You have to actively turn that feature off if you don't want it. It's just insane.
If you even know that it exists.
Yeah.
Like, they don't tell you. They're not like, hey, this car is fake. Or the engine sound is fake. The car is not fake.
I get what you're saying, I think it's really funny. Like, I just said this to you earlier. I was in my mom's car this morning, and I've been in it several times. But she's like, hey, can you... Oh, man, it's 4:12. Like, no, it's 3:12. She's like, oh, I got to change the clock back. And I go, I haven't the slightest clue as to how to go about how to work this thing. There's 2 different screens in the car. One of them's got a calendar and weather. The other one's got the radio on it. There's like a million frickin' buttons. Like, I feel like an old person. I have no idea what I'm doing. My 58-year-old mom has more of an idea of how to work her vehicle than I do, and I'm the young, spunky kid.
But that also comes with just interacting with the interface, right? If you spent a day with the interface, you would learn it.
Entirely. Exactly. Yeah, it's just the fact that I'm unfamiliar with it, but I just think it's kind of interesting that, I mean, I even feel that way in your car sometimes. I'm like, how do I do anything? I mean, and again, I've learned it a little more. I know kind of what button to click if I want to change my temperature and whatever, but it's just, man, I can't keep up with everything anymore. It's crazy. I went from a Nexus 6P to a Google Pixel 4, and I was like, I have no idea. What is happening? How do you get to your apps?
Yeah.
Oh, I can squeeze my phone and activate Google? Like, what is going on?
In some way that gives me empathy for the boomers, right? The boomer generation.
Yeah.
Because they are in a world that is so wildly different than the world that they grew up with.
It's so rapidly changing, too.
It's a shock.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's a culture shock, literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how do you deal with that as a person, right? You cling to the past. You say, I'd rather it go back to how it was than struggle learning these new things.
Well, and it's kind of funny because I originally had the mindset growing up that I was thinking, oh, well, I'm not going to have that issue because I'm advancing with technology. We had a really old computer where the monitor was, I don't even know how freaking huge. That thing weighed more than me when I was using it. And I was thinking, okay, well, I'm going to be growing up with technology for the rest of my life. I'm never going to not know what I'm doing or what's happening.
Right.
But now as I've gotten older, started to acquire this mindset of, I don't need the newest thing. I don't need the best thing.
Yep.
I can wait a few years to upgrade. So now, because everything is advancing so quickly, I wait 3 years before I get a new phone, and I have no idea how to operate the thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can do basic things, but there's just all these new features.
And you can figure it out.
Right, and you can, yes.
Because you are familiar with the foundation of the technology that it uses.
Exactly. But there's all these little changes that are occurring that I just can't keep up with anymore. It's crazy.
I had a good point.
Okay.
I was proud of my point that I was going to make.
And now it's gone.
And now it's gone.
It's into the abyss.
And when you say that it's gone, it goes even further. Because you stop talking, you stop thinking about it.
Right.
And you start thinking about how it's gone.
Yeah, and then
so it gets even further.
It just gets even further away from you.
Yeah, now it's gone. Now it's gone. Now it's gone.
What do I have to do with it? Bring it
Technology.
Back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Call it back.
Yeah, it's almost there.
No, reach into the void and
No,
grab
I know.
it.
It's almost there.
Literally,
there.
go into the consciousness ocean and pull it towards you.
It was advancing with technology. Oh, I don't know why I was proud of this point. So for me personally, right, I just, in terms of cell phones,
Okay.
you have Apple and Android.
Yeah.
Right? That's the two competitors.
More or less, yes.
I know absolutely nothing about Apple, right? My mom comes to me and says, how do I do this on my Apple device?
You had an iPhone for a few years.
I did. And my mom comes to me and says, how do I do this thing on my iPhone
Because you had the
X?
iPhone with the button,
Yep,
and now the button's
sure
gone, and all the stuff's weird.
And I say, wow, this is really different than I've ever seen. I have no clue how to do this. But then I hand my mom an Android, and she's completely lost, but I can navigate it easily.
Yeah.
And if I spent probably 2 hours with an iPhone, I could figure out the ins and outs and what to do.
More or less, yeah.
With it.
Yep.
But it's this, I don't even want to say brand barrier, but it is a brand barrier.
It's kind of a brand
right?
barrier,
If you stick with Microsoft for your computer,
I was just
you're
thinking
going to
that.
have a difficult time switching to Apple.
Switching to a Mac, yeah.
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 And it's the same thing with phones, switching from iPhone to Android or vice versa.
Dude.
But you do figure it out.
Especially working in IT, it was a struggle. I mean, we had a time where we upgraded our security protocols for email on people's phones. We added a dual authentication method so that if you need to access your email on your phone, you have to have this other application set up that you go through to acquire your information. And I had to walk people through getting to their recent apps on an iPhone. It's like put your thumb at the bottom of the screen, hold it, move it up towards the middle, let go. And I'm like, you see that? That's how you get to your recent apps. That's probably why your battery's dying all the time, because you've got 50 applications open. Yeah. They're like, oh my God, I never knew this. And oh man, I remember I spent an hour on the phone with a guy on an Android teaching him how to do something that some people took them literally a 5-minute phone call, but I didn't care. I was like, I have to be here all day helping people fix this.
If you're going to help anybody, you're just helping that guy anyway.
Well, yeah. I was like, I'm either going to answer 5 more calls or just deal with one person, and it's going to take an hour. I might as... And that's the thing is, man, that's a whole nother thing, is having just patience with people. Like
patience is a virtue.
Well, and I remember I was reading Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, It's All Small Stuff by, I forget the guy's name. Anyway.
I can't believe I'm blanking on his name also.
Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, It's All Small Stuff, I believe was the name of the book.
That is the name of the book.
And I was reading it at the time, and I think it actually really helped me through my days, because I remember reading a chapter in the morning. Wait, hold up. Who's that by?
Richard Carlson?
Richard Carlson?
But this doesn't look like the right book.
No, that's definitely the book. You had different artwork though.
I did have different artwork. I don't know. No, this is not the book.
No?
Oh, absolutely not.
Sure.
Because this is simple ways to keep the little things from taking over your life, but that wasn't...
that's what he would say.
Richard Carlson.
I believe.
Carlson.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, 1997. Yeah, this has to be it.
Yeah.
I think I just have a different version.
So I remember reading a chapter on patience with him. And it was amazing, because it was almost like the universe was sending me a sign that day. Because I read the chapter on patience that morning, and that's the day I had that call with that guy.
Yeah.
So I read this because I was I was doing help desk at home. So I just sit there waiting for someone to call me. So I would just read these little chapters because they take about 2 minutes or
if
5
even.
to read them.
Yeah.
And so I read one on patience. And then later in the day, I had this call with this guy. And I thought, yeah, you know what? I am here all day. I'm going to have to answer all these other calls. I might as well just sit here and help this guy out. So I spent an hour on the phone to this guy, helping someone who, dude, he probably had to be like 70 or something, navigate his phone. And I can't physically be there with him, so I had to teach him how to do everything. And just having that patience with him helped me learn how to explain things to people in a different way that I ever thought of.
And it also helped him.
Oh, and I'm sure
Absolutely.
even if he didn't remember everything, if he was like, well, how do I do that again? And then maybe he shows it to someone. He's like, hey, how do you do this? And someone shows me, oh, that's exactly what I did. I remember now. Yep.
Patience is appreciated by people, even if they don't realize that they appreciate it.
Yeah. Yep.
Because
exactly.
if you weren't patient with them, then they would be upset and they would get angry. But because you're patient with them, you might not get recognition for being patient in that moment, but it helps immensely in that interaction with that person.
This is sort of related. I had a manager when I worked at the Works in an area in Pennsylvania. It was an arcade. It was an arcade area. Arcade, go-karts, all that stuff. And I had one manager. His name was Alex. Honestly, shout out to Alex if he hears this. I doubt he will, but shout out to Alex. I really hope he's doing well because, why not? Why would I not wish the best for someone? And he said to me, I'm wiping down games and making sure they're sanitary and things. He said, people don't notice when it's clean. They notice when it's dirty.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like that totally applies. People don't notice really when you're being good to them.
Right.
They notice when you're being bad.
Absolutely.
People instantly pick out when you're being a jerk to them and you're not treating them fairly. It hits them a lot harder than just when you're being
But when
nice.
you're being, I'll say being overly polite
Okay, yeah.
is also noticeable.
That's very true.
But you don't have to be overly polite all the time. You just have to be that kind of middle way, as Buddhism teaches, right? Just
that
exist
middle way.
between
Yeah, exactly.
two extremes.
Exactly.
I will say, one of my ex-girlfriends, the thing that she said she admired most about me is my patience. Not something that I ever really considered myself
You're definitely a very patient person.
adept
though.
in.
Yeah, you're definitely very patient, though.
But I feel like it's almost just natural. I guess in my eyes, I don't understand how people cannot be patient in certain situations. Like on the phone with that man, right?
I have nowhere else to be.
You have nowhere else to be. It's your job.
It's my job.
You might as well just be patient.
Might as well to be. Yeah, exactly.
And most of the time, at least for me, and I can't speak for how everybody perceives reality or feels about things, but it's second nature. Second nature.
It's second nature.
It's second nature.
It's second nature.
Right? Like, why wouldn't you just be patient?
Yeah.
I'm really not trying to say that, I'm like above people
No,
because I'm patient.
I get you, though. It's just be patient with people.
It's so easy to do. At least I think. And I think for some people it isn't easy. It's and that's okay. If it's not easy for you, that's okay, but you can work on it. It's a skill.
If there's anything I learned from Back to the Future, it's that Biff is not a very patient person.
Biff is a dick.
I'll allow it.
Yeah. Anything goes, man.
Yeah,
anything goes.
Biff's a jerk.
Why would he Okay, number one, how did he work the time machine?
Wait, you're so right. He just gets in the car and just travels back in time?
Decides, wow, I know how to work this. Let me punch in the numbers. Marty didn't know how to work it before Doc explained it to him. How did Biff understand?
Yeah, that's not cool with me. That's not cool.
We also haven't finished the second movie yet at this point.
Yeah, we're
so
about
maybe it
halfway
gets
through.
explained, but probably not. Steven Spielberg, I'm disappointed. If you ever hear this, don't remake the Back to the Future movies.
Please don't make more. Please don't make more. Please don't make more.
They're gonna.
They're gonna.
Okay, Google. Is there going to be a Back to the Future 4?
According to Collider, why Back to the Future 4 won't happen, according to co-writer Bob
that's
Gale.
That's
In an
trippy.
age
Please
ram-
stop.
Okay, Back to the Future 4 is not happening.
I don't think they're gonna make Back to the Future 4. I think they're just gonna make Back to the Future.
You think they're gonna reboot?
There's no way they're not gonna.
I guess they did kind of reboot Star Wars. Right?
Well, they rebooted
They're-
Doom. They rebooted
They're
Doom,
running,
bro.
They are running out of original ideas
Doom
for all
26
entertainment.
No, they are. Doom 2016 was just Doom. Oh, I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember what the source was. I don't remember where I heard this. There's no
So
credibility
this is
behind anything I'm saying.
unreliable information, but say it anyway.
It is unreliable information because I can't cite it. But I remember hearing. Now it might have been from a Rogan podcast. That's the only thing I can give you, but I don't remember. Is that
Still unreliable. Anyway.
yes? Disney apparently has, I don't know if it's some protocol or some philosophy or something that they do when they're coming up with when they're brainstorming is if you attempt to shoot them a new idea, it's almost taboo. They're like, whoa, hold on a second. Don't try to give us something new. That's high risk. That's risky as all get out. Give us something we're familiar with. Give us something the fans are familiar with so we can build off that.
It sells better.
That's why, spoilers. That's why in the first episode of The Mandalorian, they're like, oh, well, let's just play off the Boba Fett thing because it's The Mandalorian. We've done this before. We've seen Boba Fett. But you know what? It's reliable. We know people will get hooked. The second people find out that Boba Fett's teased in the first episode, people are going to go watch it.
You know, that's probably why they put, quote, Baby Yoda, end quote.
Yeah, because it's
Not actually Baby Yoda, but it's...
Yeah.
But that's why they put him in, right? Because
he's familiar.
It's familiar and it's interesting.
It's not another alien species that you see. It's people have attachment to it.
Right.
Because all the people who, if they're still alive, because they're definitely still alive, but all the but all the people who saw the original films then see the Mandalorian.
Most of those people are probably alive.
Yeah.
Well,
look at it. It was like this. It was what 76, 75.
I'll say the younger people that saw the movie.
Yeah. Well, either way.
Probably like my dad saw the movies in theater.
Yeah.
He's still alive.
He's still alive.
He's not even 60 yet.
Yeah. So the people who saw Yoda then see this, and they're like, "Oh, I've seen that little critter before. I wonder what they're kind of gonna do with this." You know, it's.
But that also assumes that they have Disney Plus, which the older generation doesn't do streaming as much as they just stick to their cable.
That's very true. Which is really dumb to me.
Well,
I mean, I can have several different platforms for like under $50, and I get more content that I'd rather watch.
so I'll just personal example with my family.
Yeah.
We had cable. We still have cable, but the main source of television came from cable. Until my mom realized that, wow, all the millennials are ditching cable, going to these streaming services that charge.
All the millennials.
Well, the streaming services, if you get most of them, I won't say all of them, but you get the ones that you want.
Yeah.
It costs just about the same as cable, but you have it on demand without ads.
Yeah.
And you have the programs you want when you want it on demand. I already said that.
It costs just as much as cable if you have quite a few of them. And we're talking like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO, Stars, Amazon
Peacock.
Prime. I don't know what that is, but
Peacock's
I'll go with
NBC's new.
Okay.
It's free
Peacock,
right
sure.
now. It has ads, or you can pay for.
Not ads.
No, you can pay for more content with ads, or you can pay for the most content without ads. Why?
Yeah, well, everybody's trying to monetize everything.
But streaming, it's interesting because video games are even going towards this streaming platform. I forget, Stadia?
Google Stadia?
Google Stadia. That's what it is. It released, I think, last year, and it's just really hitting the market now.
Yeah.
It's just getting very big. And it's this non-download, streaming service for games. You stream, play games. And I think that's the future of gaming.
Wasn't that kind of like, what is it, Microsoft Game Pass?
It's different. Microsoft Game Pass, you still have to download and install the physical game onto your computer. But Stadia, you don't. You stream the game. You
So
don't
they've got
have
them
to
running
take
on
up.
servers somewhere.
Yep, absolutely.
You're
It's
playing-
Google.
you're playing by
it's
cloud.
Google. They
Yeah.
have infinite server space for some
More
reason.
or less, yeah. Yeah, that's okay. So there's a whole nother thing with that. The microtransactions that are being put into games. Now,
If it's a free game, 100%. Microtransactions, whatever. Because it's a free game, I can play it without microtransactions. But if you're making me pay $60 for a game, then I don't want to have to also pay these microtransaction fees unless it's for purely like cosmetic. You know?
yes, you don't want to be paid to win.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. As if you're paying for the game. If it's a free game, then I understand the pay to win concept,
Yeah.
but it still kind of sucks.
No, that yes, it does. I think the only thing that's giving me minimal justification for it is okay, so let's look at this. So Halo 1 came out in 2001. It was a $60 game even then, which apparently has a buying power in 2020 of around $88.
Wow.
Okay, so I remember going to the store with my brother and my dad, and Derek being, let's not Derek who's on the podcast. Derek, my brother, that's funny. Both same middle name, both born in December. It still freaks me out. Anyway, going into the store and Dad looking at it and it's $60. Holy crap! Because imagine your kid goes into the store now and he says, "Can we get this game?" It's $88. Let's just say $90. Let's round up.
Yeah.
It's $90.
That's what some games cost now.
You're like, that's an investment. Yeah. So that's the thing is, I think I'd rather see games up their prices to $90 base than games still be $60 and then
And
give me a bunch of microtransactions.
Yeah.
Because if and I'm not a sucker for this, but if I were for microtransactions, chances are you're gonna end up spending more than $28 on DLC and
Right.
microtransactions.
Right.
Like,
So then it would have just been worth it to spend that at the base price.
I spent
Like, to spend it outright.
Yes, I spent $105 on Skyrim OG because I spent $60 on the game. I spent $20 on Dawn Guard, $20 on Dragonborn. I spent $5 on Hearthfire. I then bought it on PC for I don't know how much.
It's releasing on PlayStation 5.
Wow. And
Skyrim?
yes. They're
It's
milking. They're
9 years
They're
old.
sucking the titties dry, James.
Sure are.
And then,
sure
well,
are.
thanks.
It's like GTA.
Yeah, just like.
But at least GTA has free DLC. It has free DLC.
That's the
only
thing.
the only microtransactions there are the
In-game
online in-game currency.
Which I prefer because I'm thinking
Right.
there's never a way that I'm gonna own everything in this game. But you know what? I'm okay with it because I almost think about it like it's real life.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
I want so many things, but I'm never gonna be able to afford everything.
Yeah.
So I might as well
And
just
you
get
just
the
have to
things
accept
that
that.
are quote unquote value
Right.
to me or the
Right.
things that I enjoy. So
But-
that's kind of what I'm scared about
but-
with Halo Infinite is
But
don't
just,
even get me off on it.
just GTA
Don't even get me
and
off
real
on it.
life, right? So in GTA, you want the new thing, but you know that maybe you can't get it, so you buy the things that you can get and want, but you get bored of them. Just like in real life,
Yeah.
you buy a new car, that new car eventually just becomes a car.
A car. I will say though, for the people who've been playing it avidly for the past 8 years, somehow, definitely can get everything.
Oh yeah,
Like
sure,
they buy
sure.
everything, and then the next update comes out, and they go, "Well, I got $40 million. I'll just buy the next everything."
Right, yeah.
Which for them, fine. But I probably have a total of maybe maybe 300 hours on GTA 5 in between console and PC, and
Yeah.
that is not enough hours to get everything. I never even had my own business with a yacht and all that shit, and that came out a couple years ago.
So I got GTA 5 for the Xbox 360 the day that it released.
Yeah, me too.
Online was not a thing at that point.
It didn't. I thought online was, but it was just. Oh no, it wasn't.
Nope. It came
you're
out
right. It was a year later.
Maybe 3 months later.
Or a couple. Yeah, maybe some. Oh no,
Maybe-
PC release was like.
PC
a year or
was
two.
years after.
It was like 2 years after.
Years after.
Was it?
Yeah, GTA released I think 2013, maybe 2014.
It was 2012. No, it was 2013.
Was 2013?
I think it was 2013.
It was between 2012 and 2014. I know that for sure.
Yeah,
I think 2013 sounds
I think it was
right.
about 2013.
It released in, I want to say September. It might have. It was definitely autumn.
It was somewhere around there.
And then online released probably like 2 or 3 months later.
Shout out to the Chevel Surge.
What?
The Chevel Surge. It's a
what?
knockoff version of the Chevy Volt.
Oh.
That was my first car in the game.
Oh, okay.
I still own one of those on PC because they're so fun to drive.
So I got the game when it released on 360.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I played it. I played online the first day it came out.
Yep.
Online at that point didn't have these businesses. It didn't have any of that jazz.
You could buy cars. You could do races. The best car at the time was the Entity something or other.
Yes, the Entity.
That was the fastest car at the time.
I love the Entity.
Now it's so out of date, but it was the fastest car at the time.
Yeah. But you could also not hack because it wasn't a hack, but you could exploit the game in so many different ways. I would play with my cousin and exploit the game to the point where I had infinite money.
You didn't know what to do with all of it.
Right. I owned everything online.
And you got bored.
No, I didn't get bored.
Oh.
Because my cousin and I would just kill kids online and clear lobbies by just infinitely killing people until they left the lobby.
Well, when you've got a tank and an attack helicopter, it's pretty...
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think
an
an attack helicopter was out at the time.
We didn't even really use that. We just sniped kids
Oh,
until they left. Yeah. Snipe them, they respawn, snipe them again, they disconnect, move on to the next kid.
On to the next one. Please cut that.
Yeah, that's not going to get us time for anything. Anything goes. Anything goes means no editing.
What is that? Is that the name of the song? On to the next one by Jay-Z.
Man, I don't know.
All right. Anyway, it's a good song, man.
I guess I've never heard it, or if I have, I can't remember it.
I want to die.
I was going somewhere with the whole GTA thing. I was going somewhere, but that's long gone.
It's long gone.
GTA is a good game.
Honestly, I want to say we should play that again, but we're gonna boot it up and we're gonna go. I don't even know what to do with this, and we're gonna fuck around for about 3 minutes, and then we're gonna stop playing.
I could see myself getting 24 hours worth of enjoyment out of that game before I stop playing it for another 3 months at least.
Let's do it.
Hey man, I'm down. I don't know when I'm gonna play video games again.
Yeah.
It's that rule of inertia, right?
Yeah, I played Risk of Rain recently, and then I think maybe a few days ago I played XCOM 2.
He means Risk of Rain 2, not the first Risk of Rain.
Yeah, Risk of Rain 2. Great game. The first one and the second one. Great games. They're soundtracks.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Well, even just the gameplay. I mean, personally, I love roguelike, levelers.
Mm-hmm.
I like anything that is non-committal. Minecraft is actually a little bit too much for me.
Dude, I think I agree. People talk about how low maintenance it is, but
it's so
I'm a
high
little
maintenance.
overwhelmed. I don't even know how to get enough food.
Oh man, for me, food. I just go find random animals, I kill them, and I head back to my house and cook it.
I don't know. I played the game in the alpha stage, I think.
Oh yeah.
When it first came out.
2010.
And then I didn't. Yeah, 2010. And then I didn't touch it for I think until it dropped on Xbox. And then I got it on Xbox, and then I played that for maybe a year, and then I didn't touch it again since then until, like a month ago that I re-downloaded it. I bought it, and I forgot that I bought it.
Yeah. I will say,
just until now, it's been about, I forgot I had Minecraft.
Yeah. I will say, it's very fun.
It's fun.
Especially if you're playing with friends.
Yes.
I have a difficult time because I'll get into a game and I'll set myself up in like the base survival mode, right? I'll have my crafting table, my furnace, and my chest. I'll have my iron gear, and then I'm like, well,
What's
you
the
know,
point? Now what?
Now what?
Now what?
And I know that you can fight the end dragon, and you can go to the Nether, and all this jazz, and that's really cool. And if that's your thing, that's awesome. But for me, I'd rather it be more like the Long Dark or the Forest, where it's this gritty survival.
Long Dark's a great game.
Long Dark is an amazing game. So is the Forest.
So, okay, so here's the thing. Is I think for you to get extended play out of a game, you just have to enjoy the game.
The fundamentals of the game.
Like
For me, Divinity Original Sin 2.
Yeah.
I have played through the storyline. It's the same storyline.
So many times.
I've played it through at least 3 times. But it doesn't matter
Right.
to me because, well, number one, there's so many different options for how the story can go. It's actually kind of bonkers.
That's pretty awesome.
But also, I just love the mechanics. I love the artwork. I love how the game plays. That's the draw.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I have... Oh, God, I'm not even going to give a number. That's why I have too many hours on XCOM.
Probably like 3,000.
No, it's not 3,000. It's like half that. But it still hurts. But that's why I have... And the game's 4 years old now, so it's okay. It's not okay, but it's okay.
XCOM 2.
XCOM 2. That's why I have so many hours on XCOM 2, because there's just... I start saves so many times because I'll get mods and then I have to restart a save or I'll break the game. So
I do the same thing with Civ.
Yeah, I specifically have a mod that helps me progress to Plasma tier really quickly.
Yeah.
So it's the thing is, with a lot of games, the fun is the progression. But for me with XCOM, it's I just want to get to the best. But the thing is that it's just moving the people and the combat and
it's the mechanics of the game.
and the mechanics of the game and just playing the game is just so fun. But for a lot of games,
something
just
you
can't do it.
Just said about XCOM, right? You just want to get to the best and then enjoy the mechanics.
Yeah.
Goes against, from at least what I'm seeing, goes against what you've said about both video games and life, where it's the struggle that matters.
No, because I get to the best in the sense where I have Plasma, but I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, and then I also have a mod in which I can up the enemy count.
So it's still difficult.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
But just because it's hard doesn't mean that it's not it doesn't mean it's a struggle, right? The struggle comes from the storyline. It comes from...
No, it's definitely a struggle, though. I jump into a match,
Sure,
and then
sure.
I'm like...
It's
I've got so many mods
difficult
that
to beat...
I fight things I've never even seen before.
Right, but it's difficult to beat the level itself, but the struggle comes from the progression.
I generally agree, but I think that's what's fun about XCOM to me is it's more about the mission to mission.
Okay.
I don't care about beating the story because I literally never beat the story. Because if you beat the story in the game, your game ends because it's stupid.
That's pretty dumb.
It's dumb. So I specifically just get to the point where I am fighting the hardest enemies with the best weapons, and so yeah, I don't know. I
so
like
it's
it.
less of a progressional struggle like life and like a lot of video games, and more of just a like chess match where you're just playing the game to play that match, and to be done with it.
Exactly. Okay. So I just like jumping in and thinking, okay,
I get that.
Am I gonna get totally screwed and lose the guy that I've been using for the past 20 hours and he's gonna die and now he's dead forever because I've named him and I've customized him and he's my top dude and then he dies and then I'm like, oh my god.
I'll say that generally that's what I look for in games, which is why when
permadeath.
Well, just in any game.
I love permanent repercussions.
Roguelike video games where
Fallout New Vegas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even Minecraft hardcore mode, like you die, you're dead.
Yeah.
Your game ends. But, shit, what was I gonna say?
I don't know. I really wish I could tell you.
I personally, that's why I play Civ, right? It's less about the progressional suffering and challenge of it, and more about, well, I want to win this one instance of a game.
Yeah, I get what you mean. That's why you play so many different matches, and you might play it on the fastest progression simply because you know that when you play with Rohan, you're not going to play over an extended period of enough time that you just play for one evening in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's, at least personally...
Shout out to Rohan. He's on the next episode.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if it'll be the next episode or how this progression is going to work here. If this is going to be a separate... But shout out to Rohan. You'll see him a lot, probably, on this podcast.
Probably, yeah. He's a great dude.
He's a great dude. He's a
really
lot of shit in his head to talk about.
Dude, I barely know the guy, but just... Oh, man. Okay. I didn't mean to totally derail what you were going with. Hey, man,
it doesn't matter. But anything goes.
I think one thing that... it's anything goes. I think one thing that has really made me feel attached to Rohan is... I had an Indian friend named Adiv. I know this almost sounds bad to you or to Derek or to anyone else, but I don't feel like I've had that kind of attachment to anyone since he was around. And he died, and I believe it was 2013. Got in a car accident. They had to identify his body by dental records.
Wow.
He was just obliterated. He was gone. And that didn't help with closure. It's like I can't even see my dead friend, which, the whole open casket thing is, it can be detrimental, but it can also be very helpful because it helps you come to closure with things. But he's just gone. And I think ever since Rohan came into my life through you, it's really weird. I mean, I've said this to several people. It's like they could be brothers. It's so weird. If you put the two of them in a room, you'd be like, these are almost the same person. It's really freaky. And I think maybe that's kind of what draws me to him. But Rohan's presence and just the energy he gives off and I like him. The way that he makes you feel and the way that he shows compassion and understanding, and he can make you laugh about things, and he's just a really cool dude.
It's funny because he always makes you feel like you're in charge of the conversation when really he is
in charge of the conversation.
Kid is a fucking genius.
He is
Cornell
a genius.
graduate. Cornell, which of the Ivy Leagues is the lowest tier. But it's an Ivy League.
But it's an Ivy League. He is a smart dude.
I've known the kid for, 5th grade, maybe 6th.
Dude, that's a lot of years.
And... I mean, back then, his common sense level was below average. But his book smart level was far above average. Right. And at this point in his life, I think he's kind of leveled out. He's realized, wow, I'm kind of a dunce when it comes to social interactions. Somewhere in high school, he just snapped and said, well, I'm going to be social now. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's a great guy. I'm really excited to have him on an episode.
I think we will have him on multiple times.
Yeah.
We haven't had him on yet as of this point. But tomorrow is actually when we're
Tomorrow's going to be our first episode. And then, Derek's not going to be here. Derek is going to be in Boston. I think he's at Boston, yeah.
Time for anything with Rohan.
Yeah, that'll be time for anything with... that'll be actually anything goes with Rohan.
Anything goes.
Anything goes.
Time for anything.
Time for anything.
Podcast name.
Anything goes.
We're going to name the podcast Anything Goes, but so I get it mixed up.
Yeah, but then someone had that copyrighted. And
no, it wasn't Anything Goes specifically. It was like
anything goes with some...
It was some chick from California.
Okay, wow. I shouldn't. But I'm gonna.
Yeah.
She lays in bed and just talks about random stuff.
Is that what it is? I don't think I've actually
But you know what's funny is we're sitting at a table talking about random stuff.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
And you know what? Whatever.
Hey man.
Whatever
power to her. You want to do is what you should do. If you want to lay in bed and talk about random stuff, just fucking do it.
It's like McFly Sr. says. Anything you put your mind to, you can accomplish.
Absolutely. Well, first, Marty McFly said it to George McFly in the first movie, and then George McFly comes back in the second movie and says it again.
To his son. No, it was at the end.
It was at the end of the first movie. It wasn't at the end of the first movie.
He's like, I remember
There's
anything
too many
around it.
references
There's
back
so
and
many
forth
references.
between the first and second movies. So.
Either way,
But
it's really that's definitely something I've been thinking about
absolutely.
recently.
It's Manifest Destiny.
Dude, it's oh my gosh, it's literally Manifest Destiny.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of sayings that we've had.
Which is actually something we're going to talk about on another episode.
That's true. That's totally in our episode idea thing. Is sayings.
I added it
Nice.
because it wasn't on there, and I thought about a saying, and I was like, "Why is that a saying?" And then I went onto the master list to add that to the sub bullet, and I was like,
because I swear we've talked about adding it.
We absolutely. It was on something somewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
So I just added it. So add to it when you think
I think
of saying.
that people
is included.
Used to have sayings because it was their way of. They learned how the universe worked, so they made sayings off it, such as Manifest Destiny, or oh, that's the universe sending you a sign, or whatever it is. And I think that has, man, I think. Go ahead.
Well, Manifest Destiny mostly referred to westward expansion.
Yeah. That's very true.
Sorry.
No, and I definitely agree. I think that there is definitely this mindset I've been into recently where I think, and again, no one's perfect, and I have my days, but I've kind of tried to have this idea recently of if I put my energy towards it, and define energy however you want, my attention. My attention. If I put my energy towards it, I would imagine it as my consciousness energy into something, and I focus that energy and I practice on that and I learn that and I decide to move with that, I can accomplish something. And I think that that's what I've really been trying to do with this podcast, and I think you have too, obviously. And, you know, like the three of us together have been trying to create something with this, and that's been so fun.
It's very important to realize and understand what's important to you and to funnel the energy that you do have into that thing.
Yes.
Whether it be creating this podcast for us, splitting your energy between creating this podcast and writing. I've been trying to do a lot more writing because since college I've kind of fallen out of that, and it's been difficult to split the attention, right? This consciousness energy as you described it, but it's possible. In the end, it's possible. You can. You have an infinite amount of energy when you get down to it. Yeah. You really do.
You really do.
Because...
Well, okay.
Infinite in the sense that we cannot find the end of it.
Right, and it's finite in the sense where when your energy's out, you're dead. But I see your point.
But the day-to-day, I can spend 2 hours on the podcast, make exceptional progress, and then spend 2 hours on my writing, make exceptional progress, spend 2 more hours on something else I want to do, and I can put all my energy towards these productive things that I want to do, but that burns you out quicker.
Yeah, that's true.
So you do have this sort of almost infinite energy source within you to expend on these projects and these things that you want to do, but it does burn you out. And I think that's something that we talk about on the entertainment episode, which is, I think, episode 2.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
It's sort of something we talk about with this necessary evil of entertainment, something that's always been around in human nature because you need an escape, a break from reality, but you also have to be productive sometimes when you're entertaining yourself. Like reading. Reading is absolutely 100% a form of entertainment. Yeah. But it also expands your mind. It enhances your vocabulary. It shows you new writing styles. It informs you if you're reading nonfiction. So, there was a point. There was a point.
No, but I understand what you're saying, though.
You need to put your energy towards the things that mean something to you.
Yeah, I think my mindset on life has shifted dramatically in the last few years. To be fully open about things, you know this. I struggled with life for a while. I think that was something that was really hard for me, was getting through the day-to-day and figuring out where I'm going to be and how I keep going. I mean, I definitely had a time in my life where I was like, I don't want to do this. This isn't for me. I'm not supposed to be here. This just feels wrong. It's not right. And thank goodness I didn't act on it, but I was really ready to just end it. I was really ready to just give up. But since then, I mean, with my experiences of meditation and some of the readings I've done and having conversations with you especially, and you know, some other people in my life that have been amazing to me, I think that, and just spiritual experiences, non-physical experiences, things that have helped open my eyes, and experiences with people who can potentially see the future and understand what's happening. Just these interactions with the non-physical and gaining an understanding of the world, I think I've just become so much more appreciative of it all. And I think I'm so happy to be here now. I think I get it. I really do. I think I get it. And I don't know. I think I understand what's going on now. And I mean, is that not what we've all been searching for? Is the answer the understanding as to why we're here?
For all of human history.
For all of human history, we've been trying to do that.
It's why religion was created.
Exactly.
It's why society was created.
And I think maybe I'm wrong, but I think I get it. I think I understand it now. And
I'll say, even if you are wrong, that doesn't matter.
Right.
Because you get it for yourself.
Exactly.
And that is the most important thing.
Yeah. And I think, I don't even remember where we were going with this or what we were talking about, but I just think that...
Anything goes.
Anything goes. I just think I want people to focus their energies onto what feels right, and focus your energy and time on the thing that you wish you were better at. Mm-hmm. Oh man, if I could only play guitar better, I really wish I could play guitar. Well, you know what? If you spend 20 minutes a day dicking around on your guitar, and you did that over a course of a year, you would play a lot better than you would a year ago.
Speaking as someone who has been in a rut for a pretty long time, somebody that has done something that I've enjoyed and then have fallen out of the routine of doing it, you're better off just continuing to do it. Even if for 15 minutes a day you just don't want to do it, but you do it, right?
Yeah, you like it in the end, but in the moment you don't like it.
For my example, with writing, 15 minutes a day will do wonders for my writing skills. But every day, it's very hard for me to sit down for 15 minutes and write something, because
that's the tragedy of
even at the end of writing for 15 minutes, I hate what I've written.
Yep.
Or I just, it's...
You're your harshest critic.
Well, yes, but also no. Because sometimes I'll write something that I'm like, wow, this was awesome. And then I'll show it to somebody and they'll say, wow, that was really bad. And I'm like, thank you. Thanks for that.
Yeah, it's kind of true, yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you just continuously do it, you will get better.
Yeah.
And that goes for even living life. Right? Just as you said, there was a time in your life that that you were like, I shouldn't be here. And that's actually, I wanted to make another connection that I will after I make this point. Right? You didn't want to be here. You didn't want to keep going through the day-to-day. But the more that you did it, the more that you understood, well, maybe it's okay. Right? Because you thought about it.
Yeah.
You exercised your intellect. Not even intellect, but just you exercised your understanding of life to make it a more... Can't find the words.
I know what you're saying. Dude, that's what this is all about. That's, like, to me, I don't know what this is. And I know we've talked about this, but I don't care with... okay, how do I phrase this? To me, what this has been about is literally like we say on our website. It's just it's figuring out the game of life. It's evolving your consciousness. It's waking up. It's understanding the world you live in and understanding that in my mind, to me as a person, and I feel like I've just had an obligation to share this, is that we're in a world that's just a game where we're just floating in the ocean of consciousness and we're shot out in these bits and we're just here to learn and we cycle back through the game as someone else, as something else, and our podcast can hopefully be the way that you learn you're in the game, the way you learn that you're waking up and you're understanding where you are and who you are and why you are. And I think that's the biggest thing that's helped me get through life is my quote unquote knowledge, because some people might not consider it knowledge, and my understanding that of why I'm here right now.
I will say that I don't know that I would consider that knowledge just as somebody that's taken an epistemology course in college.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I think it's more about perception of life.
Sure.
But I don't think that makes anything you said less valid.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that it's based on the individual's perception of life.
Yeah.
And if you just start perceiving it as a way to enhance your consciousness, right, to grow yourself, being here, just fundamentally, right, growing
even
older.
If it quote unquote means nothing and it started with the Big Bang and you're just gonna die and
if you're
it doesn't matter.
an existentialist or a nihilist, that doesn't matter.
Right.
You're still expanding your consciousness day by day. You're growing as a person.
Which means you're contributing to society, because if you do that, you're definitely gonna along the way do things that benefits other people.
Possibly.
Well, probably.
Blanket statement, yes. For most people living within a society, yes. But until you recognize that you're within a society and you can live outside of a society, which most people don't recognize, most people don't understand that they can live without the society.
Yeah.
But I think generally, yes.
Yeah.
It's that devil's advocate
I
voice
get
that
what
plays in my head.
you're saying, yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that I wanted to make a point of, one of my ex-girlfriends told me that as a child, now she suffered from OCD and clinical depression, which comes along with OCD.
Yeah.
She said when she was a child, too young to really even understand what any of this means, she felt like she didn't belong here.
Yeah.
Not just like I don't want to be here,
but I didn't belong here.
Literally did not belong here.
I've been in that boat.
This will derail everything we've been talking about, but part of me wants to believe that those are the aliens that walk among us. Because they literally don't belong here. They physically do not belong here. And it's just
crazy,
this fundamental feeling.
Maybe I'm an alien.
It's that don't actually believe that.
No, I'm just I'm messing with you. But I'm also
I know.
Yeah,
but I'm saying don't actually think that I'm serious about that, because I don't think that if you don't feel like you belong here, then you literally don't belong here and you're an alien.
Right, because it could just be some... Yeah, I get you. I get you. It doesn't mean that it is that.
Right. It could be just a chemical imbalance in the brain that makes you feel like that.
Yep.
Or it could also be something more.
Right.
It's impossible to tell. I think it's interesting, though, that children, like literal children, believe that they do not belong here. How does a child come to that conclusion? That they don't belong here?
Yeah, I don't that's wild. That's weird.
Right? They don't at that age, I couldn't comprehend that anything couldn't belong here.
It is pretty funny, though. You did mention a couple days ago or weeks that when you were younger, you, for some reason, had the understanding that life... what was it? That, like, there was going to be an apocalypse, or that life was going to be harder than you thought, or something like that?
When I was young, I had a lot of thoughts of, when I'm older, there will be no more society. That it will be something that nobody's ever experienced.
Around what age was that?
Oh, God. Since as long as I can remember, until probably late stage high school.
Wow.
Even still to this day, sometimes. It's more minor because I, had it under control.
You try to rationalize it, yeah.
Not necessarily rationalize it, but just understand that if it does happen, then that's okay.
Okay.
More of this stoicism kind of philosophy that I've integrated with my life. But yeah, it's. But I don't think that you can. Even in the case of children feeling like they don't belong where they are, I don't think that you can take that as a sign of the future. But I don't know. Maybe you can. Maybe children have some metaphysical knowledge.
And that's what's really weird.
That's lost with age.
You always hear about kids talking about how they see ghosts, or they see,
I see
ghosts,
dead people,
quote unquote, because I think
see
ghosts
dead people,
are
The Sixth
whatever.
Sense.
Yeah,
That's a movie we should watch instead of Back to the Future.
It's a great movie.
Great movie.
Yeah, that's what's really freaky, is you have all these kids who say that they're like in touch with things that we just either they're in touch with things that aren't real, or most likely, in my mind, is that they're in touch with things that
are beyond the physical.
That they can perceive much more easily because they're not in sensory overload mode. And
they've experienced it more recently. Their conscious bit has experienced it more recently than older people.
Wow. Okay, I get what you're saying. Like they've been inputted into the universe, and they haven't phased that out yet.
As you grow older, your consciousness rationalizes more because you learn logic with age, right? Yeah. Logic isn't an instinctive thing.
So are you a believer of the absolute now?
Man,
a little bit.
That's a stretch.
That's a stretch.
But I think that children have enough abstract thought that even if the absolute doesn't exist, it's still a reasonable explanation.
Fair enough. The absolute being
a god beyond gods.
The greater consciousness computer that we exist inside of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I think we exist within a simulation? Absolutely.
Okay.
But do I think that there is a being, or even...
No, I don't think it's a being.
I don't think... Yeah, right. But
I think it's just the ocean of consciousness that we dwell in. And the ocean of consciousness is the computer.
Right, but it's the... I don't think it is the computer. I think it's the code.
Okay.
I think the computer exists without the code. I think the computer can exist without any consciousness.
I like, we're the same person, though, is what I think.
I don't think we're the same person. I think we're the same...
We're the same consciousness entity, is a better way to explain that.
Yes.
Is like
in a different vessel.
The consciousness ocean is one consciousness, and that consciousness then projects into a physical form, and the consciousness is limited to the physical form it possesses. but like you and I are actually the same consciousness branched off into a separate
To
physical
define what I said, I think I just said it, and what I'm going to say again, consciousness bit
Yep.
defines what is the individual's
Soul.
consciousness
Quote unquote
or
soul.
quote unquote soul.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
I think every consciousness bit is linked to a larger
Yes.
pool.
Yep.
But I don't think every consciousness bit is the same. I think it depends on the vessel that it inhabits.
The vessel it inhabits
and
it
the
affects
vessel
the consciousness
it
bit.
inhabits is unique in every instance. I
Interesting.
don't think there is any vessel that will ever be identical unless you're identical twins, which
but no, I agree.
in which case there's some wacky science there, but that's a whole different story. It's something that I can't even speak on. But I think just generally.
Well, here we are.
Yeah.
That was it. That was Anything Goes, episode 1.
Anything Goes, part 1 with the hosts. Anything Goes with guests is a different series, but this is just with Phil and I. Derek is not here.
No, Derek's not here this episode,
Derek's
but
not here.
we're gonna be doing Anything Goes with Rohan tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
Nate's episode is not an Anything Goes. Right?
No,
That
Nate's
is a
episode is
parenting
yeah, that was a great episode.
specific. That was pretty good.
It was
That
good.
was pretty good.
I enjoyed having him on. He definitely needs to
Absolutely.
come back.
Yes.
I'm very happy with the way things have been going, and I hope you folks have been happy with it too. Let's just hope so.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. This has been a great journey.
It's been great.
It's been great.
I hope that we get to keep doing this. And I hope that we get to hear from the audience.
Dude, yes.
Because all I want
Timeforanything.com.
Timeforanything.com. All I want is for the audience to tell us what to talk about. I'm sick of coming up with topics.
No, I really want someone
Because-
to be like, talk about antinatalism.
Right.
Talk about mining.
Because,
Like, all right.
because I don't know what they want to hear, so it's just guessing, right? It's just a guessing
guesswork.
game
It's just guesswork, bro.
for these episodes.
We obviously want to talk about what we want to talk about, but we obviously want to talk about what they want to talk about. But when it really comes down to it,
We can do both.
we wanna help you learn how to live the game of life more efficiently.
Yeah.
So if you say, "Hey James, hey Phil, hey Derek, I really want to learn more about this because I want to figure out how this can help me live the game of life more efficiently." We're your guys.
Absolutely.
Come to us.
You know what? Join our Discord. Private message me on Discord. My name is Pinky. # 5601. Add me.
PINKY hashtag
Pinky.
500601.
5601.
Sorry.
5601.
5601.
Add me. I will be happy to add you to the Discord.
Heck
Find
yeah.
us on Reddit.
Heck yeah.
r/timeforanything.
I cannot believe we got
Find
that.
us on Twitter at Time for Anything Podcast.
Let's get back to that because we
Yeah.
definitely have some more updating on that we need
We
to do.
have a Twitter, but it's not ready yet. Is
Yeah.
it Time for Anything Podcast?
Well, listen,
or is it
if
Time for Anything?
you go to timeforanything.com, we will have all our social media linked.
Email
everything.
us at timeforanythingpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
Send us some love.
Yeah, even if you go to timeforanything.com and you go to the contact us page,
Yeah.
you can give us
Super
your
easy.
name,
Super easy.
type in a message, and you hit
Probably
submit.
the most straightforward way to do it.
Oh yeah, you go to timeforanything.com, you go to contact us, you type in a message, you send it, we get it. We get an email. So you say, "Hey, I really want to hear about iguanas." Type in a message, and we'll talk about iguanas.
Even if we get one person telling us to talk about iguanas, we're going to talk about
We're
iguanas.
going to talk about iguanas.
We'll stream on RPan on Reddit. r/pan, Reddit Public Access Network.
Yes.
Hopefully get the Twitch up and running pretty soon. Maybe Facebook Live, all that
Maybe
jazz.
YouTube streaming, maybe
YouTube
something.
streaming. Oh, find us on YouTube. Do we have a YouTube channel?
We'll get that going. We definitely
Yikes,
have
we
one
should
up.
do we? Do
But
we?
listen, we're gonna all that can be solved with the website.
Timeforanything.com.
Because by the time this is out, you go to the website, everything's going to be live.
Timeforanything.com.
Timeforanything.com.
Go to the About Us page.
Man, and we
Read
have
that
a
up.
beautiful logo.
The logo.
Dude.
I am so impressed.
Shout out to Sarah. Her
Sarah-
artwork is so good.
She commissioned it, and it is fantastic.
Oh my gosh, and we oh man, dude, I love that logo. The eye, the
Yes.
pyramids,
It
the
is exactly
entrancingness.
what we wanted.
It is so good.
I hope you guys love it just as much as we do.
Yes.
We look forward to hearing from you, and we will talk to you soon.
Catch you in the next one, folks.